You're thinking about St. Johns County, Florida, and I bet it started in a model home and it was staged and it had cookies, a big white kitchen, and a water park right down the street. Everybody thinks the brochure is the place that it isn't necessarily. The place comes with homework that the brochure skips. The November tax bill, the school map, and 5 o'clock on County Road 210. We moved to this county in 2012. I lived in Nocatee and now I live in Beacon Lake. This isn't just research for us, it's our life. 5 things that people love here and 4 things they don't. Let me get the obvious one out of the way first because it's no secret. Most people come here for the master plan communities, and honestly, they should. It's a product that this area is famous for. Nocatee, the 800-pound gorilla, is the giant one. It's one of the best-selling communities in the whole country. Beachwalk built a 14-acre swimming pool, a lagoon, in the middle of a neighborhood. Beacon Lake, Shearwater, Silverleaf, Rivertown, they're all running the same playbook. And every one of those places will show you the amenity list, but nobody shows you Saturday. Let me just tell you my Saturday, the real one, not the version that I would sell to you. I got up this morning and the windows were all wet because it's that humid outside and nice and cool inside. Did the coffee thing, did some reading, some stuff that I do in the morning. And if this was October instead of August, my wife and I would probably hop in the car, go over to Michael's Landing and hang out at the beach for a while, walk up and down the shore and look at all the multi-million-dollar houses along the water, find shark teeth, grab sandwiches. We do hikes a lot at UNF. They've got good trails up there. I think that's the pro, not the amenity list. The fact that the default version of your weekend is already pretty decent without you organizing anything. It sounds small, but it's not a small thing. That's the headline pro. And the next few I'm going to go a little bit more quickly on because you've probably heard them. Some people out there would put construction in the cons column, dust and model home flags on every corner. But personally, I argue that it's a pro. When the county is building this much, you get choices almost nowhere else give you. You can walk into a brand new house at 3 or 4 different price points. You can pick the lot, and the lot matters way more than the flooring ever will. A new roof, new systems like AC and whatnot, that changes your insurance conversation as well. Buying new the right way takes some knowing, and I've made those videos as well. But the raw fact that you can buy new at this many price points, that's pretty rare. Next one's near and dear to me, and nobody puts it in a stat sheet. Before Florida, we were up north and we had a hard time finding our people. We just didn't make a lot of friends. And I mean, we're both fairly social, so that wasn't for lack of trying. Down here, it's a little bit different, and I think there's a reason. They say in Florida, the further north you go, the more southern you get. You can go anywhere and find unfriendly people, sure, but there's just a vibe here that's more polite. People chat more. People wave when you're driving by. It's a totally different vibe. Part of it, I think, is that so many people here are new that nobody has really this closed circle. So there's pickleball groups running basically every morning. There's clubs and events built into these communities because somebody's literally paid to organize it in a lot of these places. If you've ever moved somewhere and spent 2 years trying to crack a social scene that formed in high school, you know exactly what I'm describing. On the water, I want to be specific because near the beach is the most oversold sentence in Florida real estate. From the 210 corridor, you're 20-some minutes from the sand at Ponte Vedra and Volano. Not a road trip. And the GTM Research Reserve protects 76,000 acres of that coastline, more than 10 miles of trails and 3 beach access points off of A1A, and parking costs like $3. The best amenity in the county is public, and it costs $3, and I stand by that. And you're in the quiet ring of a real city. Jacksonville's right up the road, and so you got a real airport, you got real hospitals, Mayo Clinic on the beaches side, you got real jobs. St. Augustine down the road the other way, which is a date night town people fly across the world to see, and you can hit it on a Tuesday. The trade most people think they're making, suburbs or city, you don't really have to fully make that here. Okay, that's the postcard, and none of that was a lie, but I told you I would be fair with you. So here's the other side of the ledger, and I'm starting with the one that I watched happen out my own front door. When I moved here, County Road 210 was 55 miles an hour. It was a 2-lane road with nothing on it but some truck stops over by I-95. And then there was a stretch during all this building where if I was just turning left out of my neighborhood heading west towards 95, you genuinely didn't know if it was going to be a 5-minute or a 35-minute drive. I called it traffic roulette. They've finally just got it all fixed. It's 6 lanes now, 3 lanes each way, 45 miles an hour, and there's a Lowe's and a BJ's. There's like 4 gas stations where there used to be pine trees. Traffic's actually pretty decent now, even during the school year. Here's the part I'd want you to sit with. They fixed the road, and there are still a lot of people around here quietly wishing that it was the rural version again. That's a trade-off, and you don't get to take just half of it. The state's building the First Coast Expressway, and the last leg into St. John's is currently slated for somewhere around 2031, which means cones. Years and years of cones. Drive your actual commute, both directions, at the real hours before you sign anything. Not the Sunday version, the Tuesday version. That one you can see coming. This next one shows up in the mail. There's a line on my own tax bill that I didn't pick and I can't cancel it. And if you're looking at master plans, there'll be one on yours too. Most of these communities carry a community development district assessment, a CDD. Plain version, the developer borrowed money to build roads and the pools and the pipes and the homes in the district. And the homes in the district pay it back on the November tax bill. Part of it is bond debt, which does eventually end, and part of it is operations and maintenance, which does not. In Nocatee, the median total assessment is $2,161 a year, and the range runs from about $600 to $3,500 depending on the lot. Some older parcels have already paid off their bond entirely, so this varies street by street, and the HOA sits on top of those in most places. Before you offer on anything, pull that address on the county property appraiser's tax estimator and pull the district's own assessment schedule for that street and ask one question of every community you tour: what's my total monthly all in? Math is the path, and math here has 3 lines the listing never shows. Is the fee evil? No. You're buying the water park kind of thing. Just buy it with your eyes open. June numbers from the Realtor Association: the median single family sale here was $579,000. The metro as a whole, $420,000. Next door in Duval, around $350,000. The premium is real and it isn't small. Now scope that, because it depends entirely on where you're coming from. If you're selling in New Jersey or Long Island or San Diego, you might look at $579 for a newer 2,400 square foot house and honestly laugh. The move isn't find a way to afford it, it's get clear on what the premium is actually buying you. Everybody asks about hurricanes first. Actually, let me back up, because the wind is the headline, but it isn't really the story. First, summer. June through September is hot and it's wet. And I've described walking out my door in July as getting a hug from a big, warm, wet blanket. And like I said earlier, the heat and the yellow flies are genuinely the part of the year that I don't love. You live your summer in the morning, in the water, or in the AC, and you get really good pool weather around 9 months a year as the trade. Now the real story, what actually hits your budget isn't drama, it's the insurance line. Roof age, wind mitigation, flood zone. Those 3 things can move the cost of owning the same house by thousands of dollars a year. New construction helps, current code, newer roof, and we sit about 30-35 feet above sea level in most of the county, which surprises people, but helping isn't the same as free. Get an insurance quote early before you fall for the kitchen, not after. Oh, and one last thing, and this is less of a con than a sorting hat. Everything here is new. That's the whole product, which means if your soul needs 100-year oak trees, houses with a past, and no HOA telling you what your mailbox can look like, this county will quietly wear you down. There are rules, there's uniformity, the trees are only teenagers, and the people who love it here love it partly because of that. The place is manicured because everybody signed up for manicured. If you just felt yourself bristle, you're not in the wrong, you're just a different buyer. There's a neighborhood in Jacksonville called Mandarin with the oak and the land and largely very few HOAs, and I made a whole video on it. That might be your video instead. So, one more thing before the verdict, because every relocating family asks, I'm not gonna rank schools for you, and honestly, You shouldn't want anybody on YouTube doing that. My job is logistics, and so here are the logistics. The district redraws attendance zones as new schools open, and new schools open here constantly because of everything I just showed you. An address is zoned today, but not forever. The county publishes a school zone locator online for free. Run any address you're serious about through it, call the district zoning office about anything near a boundary, and decide for yourself. Anything anybody tells you verbally about a future boundary, me included, treat it like a weather forecast. Who's this county actually for? If you want new, planned, amenitized, is that a word? Social, and the fee stack doesn't scare you, once you've done the math, this county is genuinely hard to beat. And look, I could have moved anywhere in this metro by now, and here's why I'm still here. One, it's easy to get out of Florida. We love getting up north to the mountains, North Georgia, North Carolina, all the norths, I guess. Being here in Florida, that's a real drive, not an ordeal. If you're down in Miami, gosh, you've got like 6 hours just to get out of the state, and then however long to get where you're actually going. Two, financially, it makes a lot of sense. No income tax, possibly no property tax down the road, we'll see. And I still get to be near the places that we like to be. Three, and this is the one people don't expect from Florida, we actually get some seasons. November, December, January, February into March, it is beautiful. We've got the whole pool and the deck, it's all screened in. And in that time of year, we open our sliders all the way up, they disappear behind a wall, so the outside becomes part of the inside. We'll get the fireplace going, even if the AC's on sometimes, and we'll pretend we're somewhere cold. We'll get down into 28 degrees a couple days in a row sometimes. So here's the thing too, my wife gets to wear her leather jacket, she gets to wear her cute boot. She loves cold weather fashion. A couple times a winter, I'll see flurries in the air, doesn't usually stick. So at least we get the illusion of snow. And number four, the people, like we said, they wave. Now, if your budget gets tight above the low fours, if you need character and old trees, or if fees on principle make your eyes twitch, look at Jacksonville first. Mandarin, the South Side Corridor, same metro, different math. It's not a consolation prize. For a lot of people, it is legit the better fit. Huh, that rhymes. If you're working through this decision for real, this is what I do. The calendar link is below. Bring your questions and your numbers, and we'll sort your version of this list out together. No pressure on the timing. When the timing's right, the timing's right for you. And if you want the communities the tours skip, the underrated ones, that video is coming up right here.